Hello friends, this is the fifth lecture of Unit 1 of Class 11 NCERT Chemistry book. In our previous lecture, we discussed in detail about dimensional analysis, and with the help of that, we learned how to interconvert the units. Today, we will discuss yet another very important topic, which is atomic and molecular masses, and then we will discuss mole concept. Students, this is a very important concept and very basic and very easy concept that is most essential if you want to learn chemistry in detail. So I will explain it in a very easy and in a detailed way what mole is. So my today's topics main concern is about mole. So let us start today's lecture. First, let us revise some terms that you are already aware of: atomic number and mass number. Now, the atomic number of an element is equal to the number of protons in atom of that element, and it is denoted by a symbol Z. So what is atomic number? The number of protons in a atom of an element is called atomic number, and it is denoted by symbol Z. And all the atoms, this is very important point, all the atoms of the same element, they have same number of protons in their nuclei. If we change the number of protons, then the element changes. No two elements can have same atomic number. So all the atoms of same element, they have same number of protons. Now this is a typical periodic table in which the various elements, they are arranged. Now these numbers that are written above the symbol of elements, these are atomic numbers. Like for magnesium, atomic number is 12. That means magnesium contains 12 protons. Similarly, for silicon, we have 14. This is atomic number. That means silicon contains 14 protons. So, atomic number is number of protons in an atom. Similarly, if we have to estimate the atom's mass, now in atom, in addition to protons, we also have neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. So if we add these number of protons and neutrons of an atom of an element, then we call this sum as mass number of that particular atom. That means, what is mass number? Mass number is the sum of number of protons and number of neutrons contained in that atom, and it is being given a symbol A. It is denoted by symbol A. So for example, let us see the example of copper. Now the copper has 29 protons and 34 protons in it, in its nucleus. So its mass number A will be equal to sum of number of protons plus number of neutrons. That means 29 plus 34, it will come out to be 63. So 63 is the mass number of copper, and it is given symbol A. Similarly, lead, which has 82 protons and 126 neutrons, it has atomic number 208, which is obtained by adding number of protons 82 plus number of neutrons 126. If we add these two, we will get 208. So far we know that atomic number is the number of protons of a in an atom of an element, and for every element it is a constant quantity. If we change the number of protons, then element will change. And whereas the mass number is sum of the number of protons as well as plus neutrons, it is called mass number. Now This, if we know the atomic number, which is represented by symbol Z, and if we know the mass number, which is denoted by symbol A, then we can represent any element. Suppose X is element. So I have generally have X, where X denotes the symbol, X for symbol of that element. So we can denote it as, from this subscript we will write atomic number, which is Z, and in superscript we will write mass number, which is A. So this is how we represent any element. If we know its atomic number, sorry, its mass number, A is mass number, its atomic number, and its symbol. Likewise, suppose if we have to represent copper, that means for copper symbol is CuX. Now its atomic number is, number of protons 29, we will write 29, and its mass number is 63, which is obtained by adding number of protons with the number of neutrons. So we will write here 63. This is how we represent any element when we know its atomic number and mass number. Now let us see what is atomic mass. First we have discussed mass number. Now let us see what does atomic mass means. Now as atom is very small, it is very small, so atomic mass of an atom is also very small, because the atom is very small. Atom is made up of protons, electrons, and neutrons, which are very small or extremely small particles. So mass of a single atom is extremely small. So to denote the masses we need some unit, like we represent weight of anything, in weight of chemicals in either gram or kilogram. These are units of weight. But if the weight is very small, like in case of atoms or its subatomic particles like neutrons, protons, electrons, etc., then the unit which is used to represent mass of atoms is called atomic mass unit, which has a abbreviation AMU. So atomic mass unit is, this is the unit of mass for atomic particles, or simply we can say atomic mass unit is the unit used to describe mass of atoms, which is very small. Now what is AMU? If we have to give its definition, so AMU is a standard, and it has been given a definition as, one atomic mass unit is defined as mass exactly equal to 1/12. 1/12 means 1 by 12 of mass of one carbon 12 atom. Carbon 12 is one isotope of carbon. We will discuss isotopes in our next slides. So this is represented as it is. So what is AMU? He says that AMU, 1 AMU is the 1/12th of mass of single carbon 12 atom. Mass of one C12 atom. So this is 1 AMU. Mathematically we can write it as 1/12th of mass of one carbon 12 atom. One carbon 12 atom. And so that mass of C12 carbon atom will be 12 AMU. Like from here we can calculate mass of one carbon atom. Now 1 AMU is 1 by 12. 1 AMU is 1 by 12 into mass of one carbon atom. From here we can write mass of one carbon 12 atom, that is equal to, we can take 12 to the this side, it is 12 into 1 AMU, or it is 12 AMU. That's what we have written, that mass of one carbon 12 atom is 12 AMU. Now, in terms of macro scale mass unit, so what is the meaning of macro scale mass unit? Macro means large, like the atoms. These are very small, which are not visible to us by naked eyes, so we need high resolution microscopes to see them, and also they have very small mass, so these are called nanoscale particles. Very small particles, we call them nanoscale. So the particles or the substances that are visible to us, so we say them macro, means large. Macro scale mass like grams and kilograms, which we can easily measure with the analytical balance in our laboratory. So if we have to convert AMU to mass, then the definition of AMU gives 1 AMU is equal to, you have to remember this value. In my next slide I will also prove how this number came. 1.66054 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. So we have 1 AMU is equal to 1.66054 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. So it is very difficult to remember the value up to so many significant figures. So for numerical purposes, you can remember it as 1.66 into 10 raised to power minus 24 grams. So you can see 1 AMU is a very small mass. Divide into 10 raised to power minus 24 means 1.66 gram divided by 10 raised to power 24, which is a very large number. So AMU is a very small mass. So it is 1.66 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 grams. So with this conversion, we should be able to convert. So this is a equivalence statement. Like in our previous lecture of dimensional analysis, we say whenever we have to convert the units from one system to another, we need a equivalence relation between them. So this is the equivalence relation between AMU and gram, and with the help of this relation we can interconvert AMU to gram or gram to AMU. So I will explain this to you in my next slide when we will do some simple numerical. So far you have to remember that 1 AMU is equal to, this value is very important, you need to remember it, 1.66054 into 10 raised to power minus 24 grams. And one thing more, the atomic masses like mass of an atom, these are determined experimentally with the help of an instrument, and the name of that instrument is mass spectrometer. So mass spectrometer is an instrument used to measure the atomic masses of very small particles, like atomic particles like atoms, neutrons, protons or electrons. So this is a typical schematic diagram of a mass spectrometer, which has electron beam source, ion accelerators, magnets and detectors. So every component has its own role. So this is discussed in your higher classes, like in MSc you will study about mass spectrometer, its diagram, how it is made, what are these components, and how does it work, how it helps us to calculate the mass. So we will not discuss it today. You just have to remember that the experimentally atomic masses, they are calculated from an instrument, with the help of an instrument, and that instrument is called mass spectrometer. And with the help of mass spectrometer, the masses of some fundamental subatomic particles. What are fundamental subatomic particles? Like proton, neutron and electron, they have been determined experimentally, and these are the values. Mass of an electron, single electron, is 9.1093815 into 10 raised to the power minus 28 grams. So you can see mass of electron is very less, and its charge is -1. Similarly, mass of proton is 1.672621637 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram, and mass of neutron is 1.674927211 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. So out of these two, if we have to see which is the heaviest particle, that neutron is the heaviest subatomic particle. It has mass 1.674. Then comes proton, it has 1.672, and neutron is the lightest. Now we have to convert these grams into AMU. If we convert this gram into AMU, you will get mass of proton is 1.00728 AMU and 1.00866 AMU. So this is the mass of neutron in AMU. Now let us see how we can convert gram into AMU here. Now in our previous slide we defined 1 AMU as 1 AMU is defined as 1 AMU. First we need an equivalence relation. It is 1.66054 into 10 raised to power minus 20, so minus 24 grams. So this equivalence relation, as we have earlier discussed in our previous lecture, it will give us two conversion factors, 1 AMU divided by 1.66054 into 10 raised to power minus 24 gram, and second conversion factor we can get 1.66054 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram divided by 1 AMU. Now we have to convert gram into AMU, so we need to use the conversion factor with the help of which we can cancel gram. So we will use this conversion factor. This conversion factor will cancel gram and we will get result in AMU. So let us see. So we will use this conversion factor. We will get 1.672621,637 into 10 raised to power minus 24 grams into conversion factor is 1 AMU divided by 1.66054 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. This gram gets cancelled. This 10 raised to the power minus 24 gets cancelled. So we have the mass of proton in grams as 1.672621637 divided by 1.66054 AMU. This is the mass. If you solve it, it will come out to be 1.00728, or we can say it is approximately 1 AMU. We can approximately assume mass of neutron and mass of proton as 1 AMU, and the mass of electron, which is 0.00548579 AMU, this is approximately 1800 times smaller than mass of proton and neutron. That means when we calculate the mass of atom is approximately taken as equal to mass of protons plus mass of neutrons. We ignore mass of electrons. Why? Because their mass is very small, 1800 times smaller than proton and neutron, so it will contribute only to 0.1% of total mass. So we generally neglect while calculating mass of atom. We only consider mass of proton and mass of neutron. Now mass spectrometer has given us a very important observation that most naturally occurring elements, they not all atoms of an element have the same mass. So this was the very important observation that was derived from mass spectrometer when the atomic masses of different elements was calculated. So what they observed, that all the atoms of element, they do not have same mass. Some atoms have higher mass and some atoms have lower mass. For example, when the atomic mass of silicon atom was calculated, which has 14 protons, so atomic number of silicon is 14. 14 is the atomic number of silicon. But this nuclei, when was observed with the help of mass spectrometry, it was observed that the three different type of silicon atoms were obtained with 14 neutrons. Other atoms, some of the atoms have 15 neutrons and some of the atoms have 16 neutrons. Although the atomic number for these three atoms is the same, 14, like I said, atomic number is constant for an atom. If we change the atomic number, element changes. Now element is silicon, so its atomic number will remain same, but the number of neutrons, it is different. For some atoms it is 14, for some atom it is 15, and for some atoms it is 16. So we can say that naturally occurring silicon with atomic number 14 is a mixture of silicon 28. So 28 is the mass number. 14 plus 14, 14 plus 14, 28. Second is silicon 29, which is 14 plus 15, and next is silicon 30. So we see that with the help of mass spectrometer, silicon, naturally occurring silicon, has three type of silicons. One with the silicon with atomic number 28, mass number 28. Second with the mass number 29. Third with the mass number 30. So the atomic number is same for these three atoms. So such different atoms, you have already know from your previous classes, such different atoms which have same element, atoms of same element, we need atoms of same element which have same atomic number. Atomic, all of these atoms, they have same atomic number, which have same atomic number but different mass numbers. Like you can see their mass number is different. So these atoms are called isotopes. So what are isotopes? Isotopes are the atoms which have same atomic number but different mass number. Or we can say the isotope, the atoms of the same element which have same number of protons but different number of neutrons, because in this number of neutrons is 28 minus 14, 14. Like we have mass number is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. Now number of protons is atomic number, mass number. So if we know mass number and atomic number, we can calculate the number of neutrons. It is mass number minus atomic number. So we have a relation, number of neutrons is equal to mass number minus atomic number. So it has mass number 28, atomic number 14, so its number of neutrons is 14. In this number of neutrons is 29 minus 14, 15. This contains 16 neutrons. So isotopes are the atoms of the same element which have same atomic number but different mass number. Now like I already said, silicon have three isotopes, silicon 28, 29 and silicon 30. Now this is very important, percent abundance. The proportion of atoms of each isotope in a natural sample of an element is called percent abundance. So what is percent abundance? Percent abundance of a isotope, of atom of an isotope, is number of atoms of the given isotope divided by total number of atoms of all isotopes of the element multiplied by 100. This is the percent abundance. Suppose we have total 100 number of atoms of silicon. Out of silicon, total silicon means silicon 28, 29 and 30, out of which suppose silicon 28 have 90 atoms. So percent abundance will be number of atoms of the given isotope, it is 90 divided by total into 100 into 100, so it is 90%. That is how we calculate percent abundance of an element, and this value is also given with the help of mass spectrometer. Now from this there came a concept of average atomic masses. Like now we know that a atom or an element, it can be a mixture of different isotopes, and their relative abundance means percent occurrence changes. Then we can calculate the average atomic mass of that element with the help of these informations. So the mass, the atomic weight or atomic mass of an element is the average mass of a representative sample of the atoms of the element expressed in atomic mass unit. So the atomic weight that is written in the periodic table, actually it is the average mass calculated in the unit of AMU, taking into consideration the relative abundance of all the isotopes of given element. We will do some numericals of this, then you will understand it in better. So now, in order to say that the average mass, the atomic mass that is calculated is average, so instead of AMU we use a new unit which is denoted by U, and it is known as unified mass. So whenever a, like suppose if we have carbon, so if it is written 12.01 U, that means this weight has been calculated. This weight is the average atomic weight and has been calculated considering the relative abundance of isotopes. So how to calculate this average mass we will do in our next slide when we will do the numericals. Now from this we can say that the mass number and atomic weight of an element, they are not the same. These two are different things. Atomic weight means average atomic weight, whereas mass number is the sum of the number of protons plus neutrons for a particular isotope, whereas atomic weight of an element, it depends upon the masses and relative abundance of all natural occurring isotopes of that element. So while calculating mass number, we simply say how many are the protons and how many are the neutrons, we simply add them, this gives you mass number. Whereas atomic weight is calculated by the average of the masses of all the isotopes of the element. So the atomic weight of an element is found from the percent abundance data, like I said. So how to calculate the average mass? So this is very important. The average mass of each isotope is multiplied by its fractional abundance. So in order to calculate the average mass, what we do, we do multiply mass of each isotope by its fractional abundance, which is, what is fractional abundance? The percent abundance expressed as decimal. Suppose we have if say some isotope has 10% relative abundance, then its fractional abundance will be 10 divided by 100 is equal to 0.10. So this is percent abundance, this is the fractional abundance. So with the help of these percent abundance and fractional abundance, we calculate the average mass of the atom. Let us see how to calculate the average atomic mass from this data. Now we will see take the example of carbon. Carbon has the following three isotopes with relative abundances and masses as shown in the table. So this table shows that carbon can have three isotopes, carbon 12, carbon 13 and carbon 14, and the relative abundance is 98.89 to 1.108%, 2 into 10 to the power minus 10%. So first thing is I have calculated fractional abundance from this. Because why? Because to calculate the average atomic mass we need fractional abundance. This is the relative abundance. Relative abundance Ra divided by 100. So 98.892 divided by 100 is 0.98892. 1.108 divided by 100 is 0.01108. 2 into 10 raised to power minus 10 divided by 10 raised to power 2 is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 12. So this is the fractional abundance. Now this is the atomic mass of each isotope. Carbon 12 has 12 AMU, that we consider it as 12. So mass of carbon 13 is 13.00335, whereas mass of 14 is 14.00317. So average atomic mass, this is given by summation of atomic mass multiplied by fractional abundance. So this is the formula. Fractional abundance summation means it depends upon the number of isotopes. Now for this we have 3 isotopes. So now we will apply this formula to carbon. So we can say average mass of carbon is equal to atomic mass of first isotope 12 multiplied by its fractional abundance. It is 0.98892 plus summation means plus second isotope, its mass is 13.0035 multiplied by its fractional abundance, which is 0.01 0.01108 plus third isotope, its atomic mass is 14.00317 into 2 into 10 raised to power minus 12. So this is a very small number, we can eventually ignore it. So let us see how. First let us calculate the first value. It is 12 into 0.98892 and it comes out to be 11 point. So it comes out to be 11.86704 plus, let us see the next, it is 13.0035 into 0.01108 and it comes out to be 0.14 0.144 0 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 8 plus eventually this number is very small, 0.00000, because it has a factor 10 raised to power minus 12, so we can neglect it. Its contribution is almost 0.0000 and so on up to 10 raised to power minus 12, so eventually we will neglect it. So the answer will be 11.86704 plus 0.14408. So it comes out to be 12.01112. As this is an average atomic weight, so its symbol is, like I said, U, unified mass. We can, if we have to take up to this then it is 12.01 unified mass. So average mass of carbon is 12.01 with atomic number 6. So carbon with atomic number 6 has a unified or average mass of 12.01. Generally in periodic table the average atomic masses are written, so it is 12, but generally for numerical purposes we only take 12, but its actual mass is 12.01. Similarly, let us see, try to calculate. So the atomic mass of next Calculate the atomic mass of average atomic mass of chlorine using the following data. Now let us see what is the data. Data will be similar to that isotope. Chlorine has two isotopes, Cl35 and Cl37. This is the mass number. Their natural abundance is 75.77, 24.23. So we can calculate fractional abundance, which is relative abundance divided by 100. So it is 0.7577, 0.2433, and the atomic masses are 34.9689, 36.965. One thing more interesting, you can see it has a mass number of 35, but its atomic mass is 34. So atomic mass is always less small by small value from mass number, and this difference is called mass defect. This you discuss in nuclear reactions like nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. So we will discuss them when we learn we will learn that topic. So similarly, chlorine 37 has atomic mass of 36.965. So let us see, we have to calculate average atomic mass. So average atomic mass is equal to mass of chlorine is equal to mass of this isotope into its fractional abundance plus mass of this isotope into its fractional abundance. So it is 34.9689 into its fractional abundance is 0.7577 plus mass of second isotope 36.9659 multiplied by its fractional abundance 0.2423. Now if we solve it, let us see what we will get. 34.9689 multiplied by 0.7577, so it is equal to 26.4959 plus, let us see next, 36.9659 into 0.2423. This is 0.9568 8.9568. If we add these two numbers, what we have, 26.4959 plus 8.9568, it comes out to be 35.4527, 35.4527, and the unit is U. So this is the average atomic mass of chlorine. So if we have to take up to two decimal places up to after decimal point, it is 35.45 U. So this is the average atomic mass of chlorine. Similarly, we can calculate the average atomic mass of argon from the following data. The data will be similar. Argon has three isotopes, argon 36, 38 and 40. Their atomic masses are these and their fractional abundance is this. So let us calculate directly its average atomic mass of argon. Average atomic mass of argon, that is equal to mass of this isotope 35.96755 into its fractional abundance 337. So this is fractional abundance we have calculated from percent abundance plus 37.96272 into 0.00063% to fractional abundance plus last third isotope 39.9624 into 0.99600. Now if you solve this, this will approximately come out to be equal to let us see how much it will give us the value. So 35.755 into 0.00337. So it is 0.12121, 0.12121 plus, if we multiply this with this, we will get something like 0.02392, 0.02392 plus this multiplied by this, it will give us something like 39.80255. So if we add these three, we will get 39.94768. So this, if we have to represent the result up to this digit, we have to round off. So as this digit is greater than 5, so we will have 8. So we can round this off as 39.948. So the rules of rounding off I have discussed in my previous lecture on dimensional analysis. So this was some examples by which we learned how average mass is calculated, and one thing just to remember is that average mass is calculated by taking average of masses of all the isotopes which are possible for that element. Now let us discuss about molecular mass. As the atomic mass represent mass of atoms, similarly molecular mass represents the mass of molecules. Now how does a molecule form? A molecule is obtained by combining two or more atoms of the same element or different, like H2. H2 has been obtained by combining two atoms, H plus H. So H is atom, H2 is molecule. Similarly, water. Water is a molecule. It is obtained by two hydrogen atoms plus one oxygen atom. So this is also a molecule. So the mass of molecules, they are represented by molecular mass. And it is simple. Molecular mass is sum of atomic masses of elements present in a molecule. If we add the atomic mass of all the atoms present in a molecule, we will get the molecular mass of the atom. And how to obtain this molecular mass? It is obtained by multiplying the atomic mass of each element by the number of its atoms and adding them together. Now let us do some examples to learn this. Suppose we have to calculate molecular mass of methane, which has a formula CH4, and we are given with the average atomic mass of carbon is 12.011, U is the unit, and for hydrogen is 1.008 U. Now we have to calculate molecular mass of methane. Now what he says, it is obtained by multiplying the atomic mass of each element. Suppose first let us do for carbon. So this, in this molecule methane, we have only one atom of carbon. So it is by atomic mass of each element is, atomic mass is of carbon is 12.011 multiplied by number of atoms. So we have one carbon atom in methane. So we are calculating molecular mass of methane. It is atomic mass of atom multiplied by its number, we have only one, plus atomic mass of hydrogen, which is 1.008, and we have how many hydrogen atoms? 4 hydrogen atoms. So into 4, so it is 12.011 plus 8 into 4, 32, 0 is 4.032. If we add this, we get 12 plus 4, 16 plus 043. So this is the molecular mass of methane. So its molecular mass is 16.043 U. U is the unit. Similarly, we can calculate molecular mass of water, and the average atomic mass of oxygen is 16. Now let us see molecular mass of water. It is equal to mass of hydrogen atom, which is 1.008 multiplied by number of hydrogen atom. How many hydrogen atoms are there? 2 hydrogen atoms plus mass of oxygen, which is 16.00 multiplied by number of oxygen atoms. How many oxygen atoms are there? Only 1. So it is 2 into 1.008 is 2.016 plus 16.00. So its answer is 18.016. So we have to round it off because we cannot have in the result more than 2 decimal places. So it will be 18.02 U. This is the molecular mass of water. Similarly, we can calculate the molecular mass of glucose. Let us see molecular mass of glucose. Molecular mass of glucose, it is equal to mass of carbon atom. What is 12.011 into number of carbon atoms? How many carbon atoms are there? 6 plus hydrogen 1.008 and number of hydrogen atoms are 12 plus oxygen is 16, number of oxygen atoms are 6. So we have this 6 6 0 72.066 plus 12 into 8 96. So 12.096 plus 6 into 6 is 96.00. So now we have to add all these values. It is now I will add it here. 72.066, 12.096 and 96.00. So it is 6 plus 6 12. So we take over 1, 9 plus 6 15 plus 1 16, take over 1 1. Now 2 plus 2 4 plus 6 10, take over 1. 7 plus 1 8, 8 plus 1 9, 9 plus 9 18. So it is 180.162 U, but we need only 2 decimal places. This we have discussed in our previous lecture of dimensional analysis, how to add significant figures. So I have kept the link of this lecture in my description section, so please go there and watch this video so that you don't get any confusion why we are choosing only 2 decimal places after 2 points after the decimal. So if we round it off, it will be 180.16 U. So this is the molecular mass of glucose. So far we know that for an atom we use the term atomic mass, and for molecule we use the term molecular mass. And molecular mass is calculated by summation of atomic masses multiplied by the number of atoms present in the molecule. Now similar to molecular mass, we have a formula mass, and this is used in some special cases like sodium chloride or any ionic compound which do not contain discrete molecules as their constituent units. In sodium chloride, it is a solid crystal structure. In this, sodium ions and negative chloride ions. So NaCl is an electrolyte. It is composed of, it is an ionic compound, NaCl plus Cl negative, and they are arranged in a three-dimensional setup. So this is the structure, three-dimensional structure, atomic structure of NaCl, where these blue dots they denote sodium and red dots they denote chlorine. Sodium positive, chlorine negative. Now see, you can see they are not discrete NaCl molecules. So from the structure, it is that one Na positive ion is surrounded by 6 Cl negative ions, and similarly one Cl negative ion is surrounded by 6 Na positive ions. So we don't have discrete molecule like NaCl. So for such compounds, we just look at their formula. So the formula for NaCl is, sodium chloride is NaCl. This is used to calculate the molecular mass instead of molecular mass, as in the solid state sodium chloride does not exist as a single entity. So we calculate the molecular mass from this formula NaCl. That's why it is called formula mass. and the formula mass of sodium chloride is atomic mass of sodium plus atomic mass of chlorine. So the atomic mass of sodium is 23U and chlorine is 35.5U. So formula mass of NaCl. So formula mass is used when there does not exist discrete molecules and we calculate the molecular mass from the formula. So formula mass of NaCl, this is equal to atomic mass of sodium 23 plus atomic mass of chlorine 35.5. So it is 58.5 U. This is the formula mass of NaCl. Now let us come to our most important topic, and this topic is very important and very essential to study chemistry: amounts of substances or the mole. What is this mole? Now, as we know that atoms are very small and their weight is very less, so we cannot see them directly or we cannot weigh them on analytical balance like we can weigh some sugar, 1 kg sugar, 2 kg sugar or 1 gram NaCl. We cannot weigh individual atoms, so their weight is determined indirectly, like I said, with the help of mass spectrometer. And but whenever we study some chemical reaction or chemical reagent, we many times we require to know the number of atoms or molecules or other nanoscale unit of element containing in that weight. Suppose we have 1 gram of NaCl. Now I want to know that how many molecules of NaCl are present in 1 gram. So how I can calculate? I have to find the mass of a single NaCl molecule, which I have to find directly, indirectly. Then if I divide this total mass by mass of single atom, then we can calculate the number of NaCl molecules. So to order or the unit by which these atomic particles they are counted, or we can say chemical counting unit, is mole. So mole is a unit which is used to count the very large number of very small particles like neutrons, protons or atoms or molecules. So mole is derived from a Latin word which means either heap or pile. So these are some meanings of mole, and this is very important statement. Mole is the connection between the macro scale. Macro scale means the weights which we measure in grams, like I said 1 gram of NaCl, and nanoscale word which we cannot see, or simply the visible and not directly visible. This 1 gram is visible to us, we can note down its weight, but this number of molecules in 1 gram of NaCl, these are not visible to us. We calculate them indirectly by calculating weight of single molecule. So those number of molecules which add together to give you a particular mass, so their number is represented by a unit called mole, and mole is analogous to the counting we use for ordinary items like oranges. We calculate oranges by dozen, like 1 dozen oranges, that means 12 oranges. Okay. Similarly, shoes by a pair. 1 pair of shoes means 2 shoes, and a sheet of paper by a rim, that means 500 sheets. They are called rim. Similarly, a mole is a counting unit for atoms, molecules, and other particles in chemistry that are not visible to us. They are counted by mole. So these dozen is the counting unit for the macroscopic things that we can see, whereas mole is a counting unit for very small particles like atoms, molecules or other particles. And this statement is very important: 1 mole always contains the same number of particles, like 1 dozen always contain 12. Similarly, 1 mole of atoms or molecules, it will be a constant number, same number, irrespective of the nature of atom, whether we are talking about atoms or molecules or other particles. 1 mole will have a same quantity, like 1 dozen has a value of 12. Similarly, 1 mole has a value of, so you can see it is a very large number, 6.02214179 into 10 raised to the power 23 particles. So 1 mole is always 6.02214179 into 10 raised to the power 23 particle, irrespective of nature of the particle, whether it is atom, molecule or some other thing. 1 mole will always corresponds to 6.022. So this is a very large number. We can generally remember this in the form 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23. So this corresponds to 1 mole. Like 1 mole of atoms means 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 atoms. Like 1 dozen atom means 12 atoms. 1 mole atoms mean 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 atoms. 1 mole molecules means 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 molecules. So 1 mole will always have a same number, which is 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23, and this is also called Avogadro's number. So this number is also called Avogadro number. Avogadro is the name of scientist. So by his name we have given this number a name. This is called Avogadro number, and we can denote this by an A, Avogadro number. So Avogadro number, Na, or 1 mole, it is a number which has a value of 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23, and this is same. This 1 mole or Avogadro number will always correspond to same number of entities or particles, irrespective of the nature. 1 mole always means 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 particles, and mole of a substance, which we have already stated in our previous slide, it always contains the same number of entities, no matter what are the substances may be. Like we can say 1 mole of hydrogen atoms is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 atoms. Similarly, 1 mole of water molecules is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 water. You can see, as hydrogen and water, they are different entities, but this number is same, because 1 mole is always 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23. Here we were talking about atoms, so we have written 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 atoms. Here we were talking about molecules, so we have written 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 molecule. Similarly, 1 mole of sodium chloride is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 formula units of sodium chloride. Like formula unit of sodium chloride is NaCl. So 1 mole always corresponds to this number. You have to remember, this is a very important number in chemistry, which is also called Avogadro number. So 1 mole is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23. Irrespective of the nature of the thing that we are talking, this number will always correspond to this much quantity or this much number of atoms. This is number of atoms, and this is now the relation between mole and molar mass, which is very important. The molar mass of any substance is the mass in grams of 1 mole of that substance. If we take 1 mole of any substance, like 1 mole of water, suppose we have 1 mole of water, which is equal to 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23 molecules of water. Now if we take the weight of these number of molecules of water, its weight will be equal to molecular weight of water, which is 18 grams. You have to be very careful. The mass of a single molecule will have a unit, either U or AMU, and this unit is gram. So the molar mass of any substance is the and the unit is gram. Unit of molar mass is gram. It is the mass of 1 mole of that substance. If we take 1 mole of that substance and if we note their weight, then the weight which came out to be, we will call that weight its molecular weight or molecular mass. Similarly, we can say 1 mole carbon, it will have a molecular mass of 12.01 grams. So the unit of molar mass is gram. So weight of 1 mole of carbon atoms. Now weight of single carbon atom is, weight of one carbon atom is 12.01 U, where U was 1.66504 or 054, something like that. 1.66054, it is 1.66054, so into 10 raised power minus 24 grams. So just remember 1.66, you can say U is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised power minus 24 grams. So weight of one carbon atom, so one carbon atom is 12.01 into 1.66 into 10 raised power minus 24 grams. So this is a very small weight. If we have 1 mole of carbon atoms, 1 mole of carbon atoms is equal to, so 1 mole C atoms is equal to 6.02 into 10 raised power 23 carbon atoms. If we take weight of 1 mole of carbon atoms, it will be equal to 12 grams, so which we can obtain by multiplying this number by this number, 6.02 into 10 power 23 into 12.01 into 1.66. This will give you its weight as 12 grams. So this I will discuss later. So just you have to remember, molar mass of any substance is the mass in grams of 1 mole of that substance. So if someone asks you calculate the number of molecules in 18 gram water, now 18 is the molecular mass of water, 16 plus 2 18. So this mass will contain how many molecules? Avogadro number. Vice versa is also true. So this is a equivalence relation between number of moles and Avogadro number, and this relation is very important. I will write molecular mass or anything, molar mass or atomic mass in grams is corresponds to mass of Avogadro, Na number of molecules. If we take Avogadro number of molecules and we note down its weight, then the mass of these Avogadro number of molecules will be equal to molar mass. We call this mass as molar mass, means mass of 1 mole, and it is equal to its atomic weight. If we are talking about atoms, it will be equal to its atomic weight. If we are talking about molecules, it will be equal to its molecular weight. So we can say molar mass has the unit of gram per mole. Why? Because molar mass is the mass of how many number of atoms or molecules? Avogadro for 1 mole of substance. So weight of 1 mole of substance is equal to its molecular weight. So its unit is gram per, unit of molar mass is gram per mole. So molar mass of copper, let us calculate. Molar mass of copper is equal to mass of 1 mole copper atoms, and we can say mass of 6.022 into 10 raised power 23 copper atoms. So molar mass of copper is equal to mass of 1 mole of copper atoms, which is mass of 6.022 into 10 raised power 23 copper atoms. Why? Because 1 mole is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised power 23. Now if you calculate, it will come out to be 63.546 gram per mole. So I can calculate it here for you. Now we will write mass of single copper atom. Okay, mass of copper atom. So copper atom has a mass of 63.546 and mass of its unit is U. For single atom the unit of mass is U, and U, like I write, is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised to power minus 24 grams. So we can say mass of copper atom is equal to 63.546 into 1.66 into 10 raised to power minus 24 gram. This is mass of single carbon atom. So in order to calculate molar mass of copper, we need mass of 1 mole of copper atoms, and 1 mole of copper atoms is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. So we can say mass of 1 mole of copper atoms is equal to mass of 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 copper atoms. Mass of one copper atom is this much. So in order to calculate mass of these many atoms, we have to multiply this by this number. So it is 63.546 into 1.66 into 10 raised to power minus 24 into 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23, because this is corresponds to 1 mole. Now if we multiply 6.02 into 1.66, it is 9.999. we can write it as 63.546 into 9.999. if we multiply these two numbers, so this is 9.999 into 10 raised to the power minus 1 minus 23, 24 plus 23 is minus 1. So 9.999 is approximately 10 into 10 raised to the power minus 1. We can write it as 63.546 into, if we write it as 10 into 10 raised to the power minus 1, so this gets cancelled. We have 63.546 grams. So molar mass of copper is mass of 1 mole of copper atoms, and it is equal to 63.546 gram per mole. Similarly, molar mass of aluminium is a mass of 1 mole of aluminium atoms and mass of 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 aluminium atoms. Why? Because 1 mole is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23, so it will come out to be 26.9815 gram per mole. So that is how we relate mole with molar mass. So what is the relation? Weight of 1 mole of atoms is equal to its atomic weight or its molar atomic weight, or we can say mass of 1 mole of anything is equal to its molar mass, which has a unit gram per mole. Like water, its molar mass is 16 plus 2 18 grams. This is its molar mass, and this mass contains how many number of molecules? Avogadro number of molecules. This relation is very important, that molar mass, the weight, the substance having weight equal to its molar mass is it contains Avogadro number of molecules, which is 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. I once again repeat, the relation between Avogadro number and molar mass is quite important, which is used heavily in chemistry. Now the molar mass differ from one element to the next element, even though all the, like for hydrogen, molar mass is 1 gram. For helium, molar mass is 4 gram. 1 mole of hydrogen is 1 gram and 1 mole of helium atoms is 4 gram. Even though both of hydrogen and helium, they have same number of atoms. It has Avogadro number of atoms, it also has Avogadro number of atoms, but their weight is different. Why? Because the weight of individual atom of hydrogen and helium is different. This is similar to like 1 dozen oranges, they will have a different weight. 1 dozen bananas, they will have different weight. Why? Because oranges and bananas, their weight is different. Similarly, the atoms of different elements, they have different mass, so their molar mass varies from one another. So molar mass is mass of Avogadro number of atoms is molar mass, and its unit is gram per mole, or simply we can say gram. Now, the molar mass in grams is numerically equal to atomic or molecular mass in U. Let us try to understand this in detail. What does it says? Like in our, this says that molar mass in grams is numerically equal to atomic formula mass, atomic mass in U. Let us understand this with the help of carbon. Now suppose we have one carbon atom, carbon 12. Let us see. So its mass of one carbon atom, how much is 12U? Okay, so this is mass of one carbon atom. Now let us try to calculate its molar mass. Now molar mass of carbon is mass of 1 mole of carbon, which is equal to mass of Avogadro number of carbon atoms, because 1 mole is equal to Avogadro number, or we can say Avogadro number is mass of 6.02 into 22 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms of carbon. So this will be the molar mass of carbon. Now let us see. Now mass of one atom is 12U. So mass of these many atoms is, so molar mass is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 into 12U, where U is, like I said, 1.66 into 10 raised to power minus 24 gram. Now putting the value of U, we have 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 into 12 into 1.66 into 10 raised to power minus 24 gram. Now 1.66 into 6.022 is approximately 10 into 10 raised to power 23 into 12 into 10 raised to power minus 24 grams. Now 10 raised to power 23 into 10 raised to the power 1 is 10 raised to power 24. So these two gets cancelled with the 10 raised to power minus 24. So we have 12 gram. The mass of single atom was 12U, and mass of 1 mole of atoms is 12 grams. So that's what it says. It says that molar mass in grams is numerically. So this numerical value is same, only the unit has changed. For single atom it is U, and for 1 mole of atoms it is grams. So the molar mass in grams is numerically equal to atomic molecular mass in U. So that's what it says. So molar mass of water is 18.02 gram per mole. We can also calculate molar mass from simple formula. So this statement is very helpful to calculate molar mass directly from formula, because we always need not to do these calculations. Now this water molecule, it has a mass of hydrogen is 1 into 2, mass of oxygen is 16 into 1 is 18U. Mass of this molecule is 18U. Now this says that molar mass in grams is numerically equal to its atomic or its molecular mass in U. So its molecular mass will be 18 gram. So if we take average masses, then you will get 18.02. So 18 grams. So my thing is to calculate molar mass of anything, just see its formula and there calculate its atomic weight from its atoms. That will give you its molecular weight. Like water, it is 18, Similarly, for sodium chloride, it is 58.5. By adding sodium plus chlorine, atomic weight of sodium plus atomic weight of chlorine, you get 58.5. Now let us do some numericals based on mole concept, which will help you to understand this concept in little detail. First thing is, using mole concept, calculate value of AMU. Like we said, 1 AMU is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised power minus 24 grams. I have obviated the next significant figures. This is approximate value. So we have to now calculate this value from mole concept. Now first let us define AMU. What is AMU? 1 AMU was 1/12th of mass of one carbon atom. So mass of one carbon atom divided by 12 is 1 AMU. Now we have molar mass of carbon. What is molar mass of carbon? Is 12 gram. Now this mass is of how many atoms of carbon? Avogadro number of atoms. So like we said, molar mass is equal to mass of Avogadro, or mass of 1 mole of carbon atoms. So we have already discussed molar mass is equal to mass of 1 mole of carbon atoms, and 1 mole is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. So we have mass of 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms of carbon is equal to 12, because molar mass is equal to mass of 1 mole of carbon atoms, 12 gram. So mass of 1 atom of carbon is equal to 12 divided by 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 grams. So this is mass of 1 carbon atom, and 1 AMU is 1/12th of mass of 1 carbon atom. 1/12th multiplied by mass of 1 carbon atom, which is this. We have recently calculated 12 divided by 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. Okay, this is the 1 AMU. Now this 12 gets cancelled. Okay, so we get 1 AMU is equal to 1 divided by 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. So it is 1 divided by 6.02 into 10 raised to power minus 23 grams. Unit is grams. So we can calculate 1 divided by 6.022. It is 0.166. It is 0.166 into 10 raised to power minus 23 gram. Now if we keep this decimal one place to write 1.66, then what we have to do? We have to subtract 1 from here. So it is 1.66 into 10 raised to power minus 20. This we have already discussed in previous lecture, how to make the scientific notation. So its value is 1 point. So using mole concept, we have so mole concept is numericals based on mole. So using mole concept, we have calculated the value of 1 AMU, which we use. It is 1.66 into 10 raised to power minus 24 grams. So this is very easy concept. So very important things that you need to remember is, if you have to calculate number of moles for a given weight, it is equal to given weight. It is very important relation, divided by molecular weight. Like you have to calculate a number of moles in 9 gram water. So it is equal to, given weight is, we have to calculate 9 gram divided by its molecular weight is 18, so it is half. This corresponds to half mole. So this is very important. You should be able to convert moles into molecular weight, and from molecular weight or given weight you should be able to calculate number of moles. This we will do in our next lectures of molarity and some other numericals. When we will do, then I will teach you how to convert these number of moles to molecular weight. So for now you can do practice by yourself. This is very important relation. Next numerical is, in 3 moles of ethane, ethane has this formula, calculate the following. So we have to 3 moles of ethane. Okay, we first thing we have to calculate the number of moles of carbon atoms. Let us see. Write ethane. Now this molecule of ethane, this is a single molecule of ethane. It has 2 molecules of carbon plus 6 molecules of hydrogen. So this C2H6 molecule, single molecule, 1 molecule of ethane, it has 2 molecules of carbon and 6 molecules of hydrogen. Now see, first thing is calculate, we have to calculate the number of moles of carbon atoms. How many moles of carbons are there in 3 moles of ethane? Now multiplying both sides by Na, which is Avogadro number. Multiply both sides by Na, Avogadro number, 6.022 into 10 to the power 20 or 1 mole. So we have Na into 1 molecule of C2H6, Na into C2H6. So we get these many molecules of C2H6 is equal to 2 Na molecules of C plus 6 Na molecules of H. We have simply multiplied by Na. We have Na molecule of, you can write here, Na molecules of C2H6 is equal to 2 Na molecules of carbon plus 6 Na molecule of. Now Avogadro number of molecules of ethane is equal to mole. It is 1 mole C2H6. So Avogadro number of molecules, or we have 1 mole, is equal to Na molecules of anything. Okay, where Na is 6.022 into 10 to the power 20. So we have 1 mole C2H6 is equal to 2 moles of carbon plus 6 moles of hydrogen. So first question was calculate the number of moles of carbon. So for 1 mole of ethane we have 2 moles of carbon. So the answer is 2. Next he says the number of moles of hydrogen atom. So we have 6 moles of hydrogen atom. So this I just explained you how to calculate, but you can simply remember the simple relation from this molecule. The relation between molecules is same as the relation between moles. Now this says that 1 molecule of ethane is equal to 2 molecules of carbon. So same will be the relation between moles. We can say 1 mole of ethane will be equal to 2 mole of carbon. Similarly in water, so 1 mole of water will be equal to 2 moles hydrogen, 1 mole oxygen. In glucose, C6H12O6, 1 mole of glucose will be equal to 6 moles of carbon, 12 moles of hydrogen and 6 moles of oxygen. Similarly, 1 molecule of this glucose will be equal to 6 molecules of carbon, 12 molecules of hydrogen and 6 molecules of oxygen. Now he says calculate the number of molecules of ethane in 1 mole of ethane. We already said the definition of 1 mole is 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23 into 10 to the power 23. So in 1 mole of ethane we have 6.022 into 10 raised power 23 molecules of ethane. Why? Because 1 mole corresponds to this much number, and ethane is a molecule. This was very easy. Let us move to next. How much copper can be obtained from 100 gram of copper sulfate? Now let us see how to do such numericals. He says that how much of copper can be obtained from 100 gram of copper sulfate. Let us see how to do these numericals. So first of all, we have to calculate the molecular weight of copper sulfate. So its molecular weight is equal to molecular weight of copper plus molecular weight of sulfur plus 4 times molecular weight oxygen. Okay, atomic weight. As these are atoms, so it is better to use the word atomic weight of copper, atomic weight of sulfur, and atomic. Because why I have used atomic? Because copper is atom, sulfur is atom, and oxygen also atom. Now atomic weight of copper is 63.546. It is 63.546 gram plus atomic weight of sulfur is 32 plus 4 into atomic weight of oxygen is 16. So all these have unit of gram. It is 63.546 plus 32 plus 64 grams. So this is a molecular weight of copper sulfate. And it is if we add this, it will come out to be 159.546 grams. Now let us see this much weight of copper sulfate, 159.546 gram copper sulfate. It contains copper. How much copper it contains? 1 mole of copper sulfate contains 1 mole of copper, and weight of 1 mole of copper is 63.546 gram. Now this formula shows that 1 mole copper sulfate is equal to 1 mole copper plus 1 mole sulfur plus 4 moles oxygen. Okay, atomic. And 1 mole weight of 1 mole of copper sulfate is its molecular weight, which is 159.546, and weight of 1 mole of copper is its atomic weight, which is 63.546. So we have this much gram of copper sulfate contains this much gram of copper. We have to calculate in 100 grams, so we will simply apply unitary method. So 1 gram copper sulfate contains copper is equal to 63.546 divided by 159.546 grams. We have to calculate in 100 grams. So this is equal to 63.546 divided by 159.546 into 100 gram. This much copper is contained in 100 gram copper sulfate. Let us see its value. So we have 6354.6 divided by 159.546. So its value is 39.829. So it is 39.829. So 100 gram of copper sulfate, it contains copper 39.829 grams. So it was very easy numerical. First we calculated its molecular weight, then from this formula we see the relation between molecule of copper sulfate with atom of copper. So from this we get 1 mole of copper sulfate is equal to 1 mole of copper, and 1 mole of copper sulfate is equal to its molecular weight, whereas 1 mole of copper is equal to its atomic weight. So then by applying this unitary method, we calculated the copper present in 100 gram of copper sulfate. Now he says that what will be the mass of one 12 carbon atom in grams. Now this numerical we can do by two ways. Let us see. We have to calculate mass of one carbon 12 atom. So these are very one carbon 12 atom. Now molar mass of carbon is 12 gram. Unit of molar mass is gram. Now what is the meaning of molar mass? Molar mass means mass of 1 mole of C12 atoms is equal to 12 gram. Now 1 mole of C12 atoms is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms. This is the definition of mole. So we can write 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms of 12 carbon. They have a weight equal to 12 gram. We have to calculate for one atom. So one atom of C12 will have a weight 12 divided by 6.02 into 10 to the power 23 grams. It is equal to, let us see, 12 divided by 6.02 to approximately, if we take it 6, it is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 23 gram. So this is the weight of one atom of carbon. Second method, we can calculate it from the definition of AMU. Now what is 1 AMU? 1/12 of mass of one carbon atom. We have to calculate mass of one carbon atom. So mass of one C12 atom is equal to 12 into AMU, and AMU is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 grams. So we can say mass of one carbon atom. You can do it by any method, whichever is easy. This method is I prefer. Why? Because you many times you have to use this mole concept. It is equal to 12 into 1.66 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. Now 12 multiplied by 1.66 is equal to 19.92 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. So 19.92 is approximately 20. We can write 20 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. This 0 gets cancelled. It is 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 23 gram. So the answer is always same. Whether you do it by this method or this method, the answer will be same. Now let us move to our next numerical, which is the last numerical of today. Calculate the number of atoms in each of the following. First thing is 52 moles of argon. Now we have 1 mole of argon. It contains how many atoms? 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23 atoms. So we have to calculate in 52 moles. So 52 moles of argon will contain 52 into 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23 atoms, and if you solve it, 52 into 6.02 is 313.04 into 10 raised to the power 23 atoms. Or we can write, if we have to do it scientific notation, if we have to move 2 decimal to 2 places to the left, 3.1304 into, then if we move decimal to the left, we add the number in the exponent, the number of decimals we place to the left. 23 plus 2 is equal to 3.1304 into 10 raised power 25 atoms. So these are the number of atoms which are contained in 52 moles of argon. Now 52 U of helium. Now U is the unit for mass of atoms. Okay. Now helium has a atomic mass of 4U. So mass of one atom of helium. Okay, so or we can say mass of one helium atom is equal to 4U, because it has 2 protons and 2 neutrons. We have to calculate in 52U, so we will apply unitary method. So we will say 4U, it contains one helium atom. 1U contains 1 by 4 helium atoms. We have to calculate in 52U. It contains 1 by 4 into 52 helium atoms. It gets cancelled. We have 13 helium atoms. So this much of helium contains 13 atoms, and 52 moles of argon contains 3.1304 into 10 raised power 25 atoms. 52 gram of helium. It is very interesting. So let us see third part. Now we have 4 gram is the molar mass of helium. So 4 gram of helium, I will write molar mass of helium is 4 gram. That means 4 gram of helium contains 1 mole of atoms. Okay, 1 mole means 6.02 into 10 raised power 23 helium atoms. Now we have to calculate in 52 gram. Again we will apply the unitary method. So 1 gram helium, it contains 6.02 into 10 raised power 23 by 4 helium atoms. We have to calculate in 52 grams. 52 gram helium, it contains 6.02 into 10 raised power 23 divided by 4 into 52 helium atoms. So 4 into 52 is 13. 13 into 6.02 is 26, 78. 13 into 6 is 78. 78.26 into 10 raised power 23 atoms, or we can say 7.826 into 10 raised power 24 atoms. So this is the answer. It contains 7.826 into 10 raised power 24 atoms. So this was very easy numerical. So that was all for today, and in today's lecture we discussed very important things: AMU, unit for atomic masses, isotopes, atoms having same atomic number but different mass number. Then we discussed about average atomic weight, how to calculate it, and then there came a most important topic, mole, unit of quantity of atoms. Its value is 6.022 into 10 raised to power 3. It is also called Avogadro's number. We discussed. Then we did the relation between mole and molar mass. We said that molar mass is equal to mass of 1 mole of substance, like water. Its molar mass is 18 gram. That means mass of 6.02 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules of water, they have a mass of 18 gram. So that was all for today. In our next lecture we will discuss about percent composition and empirical and molecular formula, how to derive the formula from percent composition. So if you like the lecture, please do subscribe my channel and also share with your friends. Thank you very much.